Hi, and welcome. I'm Katherine Tucker, Senior Nutrition Consultant at the Administration for Community Living. Has your traditional congregate meal program declined? Do you have an increase in food insecurity, especially in certain pockets of your community? Are you trying to bring participants back with a new model or attract a younger, older adult population? Whatever your motivation is, you found your way to revamping your congregate meal site webinar chat series. This is the third in a four-part series, and we are so glad that you're here with us today. The value of the congregate meal program cannot be overstated. For over 50 years, the congregate meals have been studied and evaluated, mostly in traditional settings. The benefits of traditional congregate meal programs have been shown to improve health and well-being by helping to decrease depression, improve nutritional intake, and allowing older adults to continue to live independently in their own homes. Our network continues to meet the intents of the Older Americans Act by addressing the nutrition, social isolation, and the health and well-being of the older adults we serve. As older adult population continues to change and evolve with their needs and preferences, many organizations are being creative to find multiple service delivery models. Truly, each model has its benefits. Congregate meal sites can have a wide range of variability, and the Older Americans Act has always allowed for many flexibilities across the senior nutrition program. So each state, area agency on aging, and local service provider can create services that meets the needs of their own communities. That means tailoring their menus to local preferences, creating a welcoming environment, making referrals to local organizations that can help fund maybe a falls prevention workshop. It really benefits the access and more. The four-part series is intended to provide area agencies on aging and meal providers with ideas to revamp and reinvigorate their congregate sites. Through this four-part series, you will learn how to make small changes to your congregate site or larger, more innovative approaches to fit your needs and your expected outcomes. Series 1 discussed using food trucks to revamp your congregate site. Series 2 reviewed using a cafe connection. And both have been released, and you can find those on the Nutrition Aging Resource Center, as well as today's chat. And I'll talk a little bit more later about where to find that when we end our chat today. So before we begin, it's always important before you start any new program to reach out to your area agency on aging and your state unit on aging to make sure you meet all state and local policy requirements, including any pre-approvals that may be necessary. Now, on to our guest. The New Opportunities Incorporated has been using restaurant partnerships to revamp their congregate program. This has successfully helped to increase their congregate participation and reach to new populations of older adults in the region. Yadira Perez is the director of the Senior Nutrition Services at New Opportunities with 10 years of experience working with older adults. Prior to joining New Opportunities Incorporated, Yadira was a program manager for Meals on Wheels, a program manager for a home care program for Western Connecticut Area Agency on Aging, and prior to that was a senior branch manager for a local home care agency. Yadira has earned her bachelor's in human nutrition from Springfield College. I am so glad to have you here today with me, Yadira, to help others learn more about how to incorporate restaurant models into their congregate setting. Can you provide a brief description on how your agency uses restaurants in your congregate meal program?
Yes. Hi, Catherine. Thank you for having me. Our agency implemented, it's been about 21 years now, we call it Senior Dine Program, and it is a restaurant program. And it was to target our 60 and older population who are still active, can get around to a congregate site, but also to fill in the gaps for senior centers, especially target the rural populations where there's not a lot of activity going on, there's not a local senior center, or there's not that many options for them. So when we implemented it, that was our main goal. And that was our target population, to really serve those seniors. And since then, it's just really kind of taken off, and it continues to grow in the 21 plus years that we've been doing it.
Well, it's safe to say that your restaurant program is sustainable since it's been working for 21 years. Can you go in a little bit detail about how the program works?
So we start off by reaching out to local restaurants in the surrounding towns that we service, and we see if they like to partner with us to service our seniors. We explain to them how the program works. We do draft up a MOU with them, and we explain to them kind of like how reimbursement works. We explain to them how the menu would work. If they agree to all the terms, they're going to then work with our nutritionist to develop a specific menu for the seniors who dine at their restaurant. Now, if a senior wants to choose an item from the restaurant's menu, they do have to pay for that separately. But everything in the senior dine menu is included and is a part of the program. Once the menu is approved, both agreed upon parties are good with it, then it gets approved by the state nutritionist. And once we have that green light and we've collected all documents from the restaurant, we do need to make sure that, their Serve Safe certification, their permits, health inspections, everything's up to date, and we keep those up to date on an annual basis. We then move forward with letting our seniors know that this restaurant is now available to them to be able to eat at one of the sites. For a participant wanting to join the program, they would fill out a Form 5 registration form. Once they complete that Form 5 registration form and we verify that they're eligible to receive the service and they're not a home delivered meal participant, they're then assigned a card, a little mini key tag card that's kind of similar to what you use at a grocery store for your points. So they are assigned one that has a QR code in the back of it. And then that QR code and that card is what they're going to present to the restaurant and their server. Their server is going to scan that QR code through either a iPhone, iPod that's supplied to them. And that's how we track electronically through our CapMass software solution senior dine platform, all the activities of all the restaurants and all the people that eat, all of our clients that eat at the restaurant, so that we can then run a report at the end of every month and provide a reimbursement to the restaurant partner. So
Wow.
yeah, it is electronic. I know there's a lot of other states that are doing vouchers, but we kind of went electronic and been doing electronic ever since.
And that technology is amazing because you really you eliminate some of the lost probably meals that you would lose from any kind of paper that's, moving around within the system. So that's amazing. And it could be right there on your key ring so they could keep up with it maybe a little bit better. What benefits have you seen from using restaurants as a service delivery model in your Congregate program?
So we've seen definitely an increase in participation. A lot of seniors, they like to have the option to, dine with either family or friends, be able to kind of get out, socialize. They do like to see a variety of options. So, they can go from one restaurant to another. We have about 9 or 10 restaurant partners right now in surrounding towns. So it gives them a good variety of option, and they could choose between breakfast or lunch. Depending on the restaurants, some provide both, some only provide a lunch option, but it does give them that variety and it does give them options, and it does allow them to kind of do it on their own terms and be able to go out and kind of socialize with whoever they like and get out of the house.
So, an extra question, do they have the opportunity to participate in other activities within your program through the restaurant program?
Um, Other activities in a sense of other senior nutrition services or
Yes, yes.
so, I mean, someone who's participating is just kind of like congregate and home delivered. Someone who's participating in the senior dine cannot also be participating in the home delivered services. So I mean, they can certainly attend a senior center. They could still attend a senior center and go and eat at one of our restaurants. They can certainly do that.
Okay, yeah. And so they would still have access to those senior center activities as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, great. And what looking at the benefits and all the processes that you've talked about, what action steps do you recommend someone who's wanting to start a partnership with a restaurant? What kind of action steps should they take to start that process?
So if they're looking, are you referring to like how to approach a restaurant community partner in that sense?
Yes, possibly, or how to even get that process started.
Started.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I was fortunate to kind of inherit this and take it over. Lisa Labanti was the former senior director of senior nutrition services here at New Opportunities, and she kind of kicked this program off over 20 years ago. And it's really connecting with the resources that you need to kind of get this program started. So if you're looking to do more so electronic, we work with CatMat Software Solutions. They're a resource. They're someone who you can connect with, and they'll help you and guide you on how you can get set up with these little key tag cards, and they'll create the system tailored to pretty much your operations and how you want to have this kind of these reports and everything, how you want to see it done. You want to make sure that you have a nutritionist on site who's going to be able to work with the restaurants to be able to create these specific menus for the seniors who dine at the restaurants. You do want to have a contract or some type of MOU with them. I'm more than happy to provide any samples of ours as well. And just an understanding of, what the responsibilities are of both parties. So I think really the steps are to really find out internally if this is something that you will be able to manage as far as your own staff, and then just kind of getting the resources to build it from there. Yeah. And then talking to also your funder, because our AAA is very supportive of this restaurant program, and we do reimburse our restaurants with Title III funds. So it really does depend on the capacity of your contract. And your funding. There's also grants you can apply for. There's a lot of people who would love to support something like this.
Of course, and it's not that it's a new delivery model because like you said, you all have been doing it for over 20 years, but it's new to a lot of people. So this is still an upcoming idea that people are starting to use, and it became popular a lot from the pandemic. But of course, people are starting to grab a hold of this because this is definitely something that's reaching a different population of older adults. So these action steps can really help providers start on the right track. And I'd also like to add the Nutrition Aging Resource Center has an entire page of resources, and some of those resources come directly from your agency on how to focus on restaurant partnerships. And you can find that at acl.gov/senior-nutrition /restaurant-partnerships. And I'll talk a little bit more about how to find that. So, whenever someone's interested, and you've talked about the action steps, but if you're actually interested in starting this, what kind of advice would you give someone who wants to start this? As far as, you know, what kind of mindset do they really need to kind of work toward to make sure that this could be successful in their agency?
So you definitely want to approach it with the mindset that this is definitely a huge service to the community and a huge service to the seniors, especially when you're presenting it to the restaurant partner. Um, a lot of these restaurants, well, all of them, I want to say, are doing this because of that specific reason. They feel they're making a difference in the community and they're supporting their seniors. The reimbursement rate, as we know, is not, the greatest, especially for inflation and where we are right now in the economy. So they're providing these meals not to get rich off of it, not to make money off of it, but to really make a difference in their community. And that's the message that you want to convey, and that's the partnership you want to have. And all of our restaurant partners, they love to do it because of that.
Right. And it does, if you know inside that what you're doing is making a difference, it gives you more drive to do more for especially
Yeah.
that population that you serve. And I want to thank you, Udair, for sharing about the restaurant partnerships and your Congregate program. And it's a very exciting Congregate Revamp idea. And I wish you the best as you continue on, hopefully for another 20 years with this venture. I hope those watching will find this information helpful and encouraging, and being able to identify a need in your region and filling that need in a new way is the definition of being innovative. And that's exactly what this program is. The senior nutrition program has proven to be beneficial to older adults. However, if older adults are not participating, they're not able to benefit from the services. So by revamping your congregate meal sites, you can potentially increase awareness and participation within your services. Therefore, you can make lasting changes in the lives of the older adults you serve. I want to thank you for watching today, and I've posted Yadira's contact information. Let me get that up on the screen for everybody to see. So here is the contact information. I have a couple of the links for the Nutrition Aging Resource Center available for you as well. If you go to acl.gov/senior-nutrition, you can click on Browse Resources, Congregate, and then Creativity and Innovation. And if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll find related topics, including restaurant partnerships. But there's also a section for presentations where you'll find today's chat, as well as all the other chats in the series. Yadira, I want to thank you for chatting with me today. I really appreciate you hopping on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Catherine.
So all the attendees, please be on the lookout for other webinar chats available in this series to help you explore ways to revamp your congregate program by using ideas like food trucks, strategies to encourage participation, and even incorporating small changes to your traditional meal site. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you at the next chat.